Hi chums, we're outside now. I'm not quite sure how to go about this, but we'll get a scoot round it somewhere or other. That's the garlic I put in last October. It's doing very well, and I just stuck a few lettuces in the back just to fill in space, see how they do outside. Those are just some tomatoes that haven't been picked up yet. In here we have cauliflowers, and I put fleece over these because the wind was so bad, and they seem to be coming on okay. So I'm happy enough for that. We've got onions here. They're starting to fill out now, which is good. And here we have corn. Disaster. I put this corn in April, at the end of April, when it was really sunny and warm here. And then May and the first part of June have been really appallingly bad. The wind was so strong, it was breaking these bamboo canes. You know, at one stage I checked the weather data, and the wind was coming through here, average speed 106 miles an hour. And the problem is, that's west over there, and I have the garden basically placed to protect it from the wind. The problem is the wind was coming from the south, so it just got a clean run right up the garden and wrecked everything. So the corn's not going to do much at all. In this bed here, it's squashes and, not squashes, what do you call those things? Zucchinis. I've got about 8 or 9 zucchini plants in there, so I'll be sick looking at those. Over here is my pumpkin patch. Oh, disaster here too. That's my Atlantic giant there and there. Now these things, as you know, in America grow to 900 pounds. If I get them to 840, 850, I'll be happy enough. But it's not looking good. The problem here is the wind again. You can see here, this one here got blown over by the wind, but it's still a wee bit hanging on at the bottom, so I've let it lie and it's starting to perk up again. And then around here I've got other types of squashes and pumpkins. Those have all been in for about a month and they're not doing well at all. That's just some runner beans that I put in there to basically use them up, because I'd never done them before and I had far too many. And then these are more runner beans here that I've decided to do. Cabbages here, they're doing well. I can't remember what you call those ones. There should be a label in here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. They've actually grown over the label, so I don't know what. Oh, there it is. That's oh, it just says shop on it. Oh, Offingham Flower of Spring. That's a lovely, lovely cabbage. Mistake here. Those are actually climbing beans. I thought they were dwarf beans, and put them into the bed. So I'll put a few canes in and let them crawl up around them. More onions here. Now, these cabbages have been under fleece since they were put in to stop the insects getting at them. But wait till you see this. Isn't that good? Those are coming on really, really well. So I'm delighted with those. Just get my fleece back down again. In here, more cabbages, Hispy. It's a lovely conical cabbage. Now Dan, on his allotment, his Hispies have been ready for harvesting and all. They're beautiful. These are just sitting back, not much bigger than they were 4 weeks ago. In here, beetroot, but as you can see, poor germination, and more sweet corn. Once again, sweet corn sitting in there for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, hasn't moved. In here is carrots, and we've got very bad germination here. Peas, the peas were good. No, but the peas were only put in about 3 weeks ago, so they got a chance with some sunshine. In here, kohlrabi. I've got one line of kohlrabi out of the whole bed. There's a couple over there, but that's it. And at the far end, I've got, I don't know what I've got at the far end. Swedes, and they're not even doing it at all. I think there's 2 up there, so that's bad as well. More onions. The onions are doing well, you know, and French parsley. Strawberries. Wait to see this here. I showed you the strawberries up in the house. Well, look, there they are. Look, aren't those fantastic? And there's just big bunches of strawberries all over the place. They're really good. So I'm delighted with those. Cobra beans. Now those beans should be, they're about 4 feet high at the moment. Those should be in around about the top of the frame, which is 7 feet. So things, once again, very slow. Then we've got dwarf French beans here. I'm not going to put beans in trays in the greenhouse again. I'm going to do them in the ground when it's ready, because the problem I had this year was I did them in the greenhouse. They got very big and started to tangle around each other, and I had to untangle them to put them up against the frames. And I had to move them over here along the hedge to keep them out of the wind, but to get them out of the greenhouse, and it was just awful. And then in here, this is my first year in this bed. I've had good results. I've got carrots here which are doing pretty well, and I've got that's a carrot called Norwich, and down there I've got parsnips, so those are doing okay. Right over here, the potatoes, right along this side here I've got a potato called Cara, and these ones here are called Charlotte. 3 corns left over, haven't moved. Those are my marigolds that I put in around the garden to attract pollinators, and also I'm doing a wee bit of stuff outside in the front this year. What else? There's a tomato. Oh yes, tomatoes here. Those tomatoes are going rightly. I can see here, those are the red alert. You can see there's tomatoes on those already, on the red alerts. They're good, reliable boys, you know. But what I'm going to do with the red alert this year is I'm going to prune branches off them. They put a lot of flowers out and a lot of fruit, but there's so much fruit it doesn't get a chance to swell and ripen, especially in the pots. So I'm going to cut half of them off this year and see how it goes. The potatoes in the suitcase are doing pretty well, it looks like. And these are more those are Charlotte potatoes there. I've got Market Moor cucumbers here, which is only in about a week and a half now, you know. Scallions, those, I can't get them to go at all well, and I've tried them in the ground, I've tried them in boxes, just don't do well for me at all. Those are snapdragons, very poor again. And then these are my potatoes. These are ones called, well, those first lot are called Charlotte, and these ones here are called Pink Fir Apple. They're an old-fashioned English potato. They're starting to get a bit of insect damage now, as you can see, but no blight yet, despite how cold and horrible the weather has been. Might as well show you this mistake I made. Do you remember my lovely rhubarb? Well, there's my lovely rhubarb there. Every single one of them is dead. I made a mistake. Those pots were sitting on the ground for 2 years. I moved them, and I broke the taproot that was coming out the bottom of the pot into the ground underneath, and they just all fell over and died. I watered them copiously, I fed them, no good, they just fell over. So I'm going to just take the leaves off them and bury the crowns again and see what happens, you know. So that's basically where the vegetables are at the moment, folks. 7-8 minutes, that's long enough of me for anybody. The flowers, there's petunias. They're the petunias. Yes, those are called petunias there. Lovely, lovely name. And there's more and more petunias. They've done well. But things like this, Bells of Ireland, there's 1 tray left out of about 6 trays. There's exactly what happened to the others. You know? Bells of Ireland, not a single one left. It must be to do with the weather. I don't know what is going on. I've got chrysanthemums here. They've got lovely names like Raspberry Sunday, Passion, Coconut Sunday, Candy Floss, and Sugar Plum. So we'll be interested to see what they look like, you know. But overall, I'm putting some squashes into pots here. Just see, that's courgettes there. Just see how they do, you know. So that's where we are, folks. And when I get something more to show, I'll show it. But, oh, the strawberries. I'm going to give you a last look at the strawberries. The strawberries are magnificent. I'll just run the camera along the side here, let you see them. Isn't that lovely? Look at that there. Some insect damage, but not very much. Maybe 1% of the strawberries are getting damaged. And then what I've done here is I've taken some runners out and put them into pots and cut the other runners off. And that was Dan again. Allotment Diaries is a very good channel. Good, down-to-earth, common sense information. No nonsense. Great channel. And that's Dan. So, all the best, folks. Bye.